How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Player 4 Productions broadcast of the Lucky Ace Open here in beautiful Seguin, Texas. I am AJ Cueve, joined by my partner, Mr. Darren Young. What's going on, man?
How's it going? It's a windy day down in South Texas. Excited to see a new course that we've never seen before. And we are also excited to be joined by the man, the CEO of Lucky Ace, Jay. How's it going, Jay?
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure. Thank you so much. We got the CEO/TD of the Lucky Ace Open, which brings us here to the second round of the event.
A quick look at the leaderboard. Again, this is the second round. So Fredy and Mason at the top at 4 under, and Zach and Guthrie both of them 2 strokes. So it's a tight race, and plenty of guys are behind them as well. So we're gonna see how this course plays out. It is a windy day. The front 6 or so wide open. Next 9 or so holes in the trees, and then the next 5 or 6 holes out in the open. There's a nice mixture of open, out in the woods, and the wind is definitely going to play a toll. Let's look at hole 1. So this first shot is around 330 feet. It is to an island. So anything hyzer out over the right side is going to be most common played. But the farther right you get off the drive is going to be better because this massive tree you can see on the left. So you're going to see players throw either forehands or backhand hyzers out to the right side just to get anywhere around here-ish or so. If you get here, then you got about 300 feet to the basket. And then it's fairly simple. The challenge of this approach is the slope, and it's kind of hard to see in the camera, but it does have a big left to right or right to left grade. So any hyzers, backhand hyzers, going to skip away from the green within the basket. But
ladies and gentlemen, this is now the lead card for MPO at the Lucky Ace Open! First up on the box, representing San Antonio, Texas, representing mid-disc and circle 1, give it up for Mason Ford!
Man, I was down at the bottom on catch cam. I was just hyped up down there. It was so good.
Tell you, if you're a big Bulls fan, you'd recognize the actual song playing in the background.
Yeah, there's that easy backhand hyzer.
Yep.
Don't have to take too much off. Yeah, don't have to take too much off there. It's just getting bounds is really the only goal of this tee shot.
Next up on the box, representing Mexico and Lone Star Disc, give it up for Fredy Meza!
Fredy, same thing. Just going to go with that easy backhand hyzer. And this one is the 3rd easiest hole in the course during this round.
Are you serious?
So definitely one that players are going to look to get a birdie to start off strong.
How far is it to that first island?
To get inbounds is only around 240 feet or so to a spot that you actually want to get,
Next up on the box,
to where you actually want to get a birdie to. Then you're probably throwing 330 to 350 or so. So it doesn't take and it's also downhill quite a bit. So
Zachary
Nash, of course, out of Heiko, like Jay just said. So it's nothing that these guys can't do. They're just looking to throw something overstable, probably like a 9-speed or maybe even a driver, and just stick the island. They don't really care where it lands. Just get in bounds.
Yeah, fight the wind too. Look at the flags right off screen there. It's getting ripped around.
It's always windy here at Turkey Ridge.
That's fair.
I believe he threw a Justice on that hole, and
they're all so close together. It's crazy.
Yeah, so he's a little bit left, I think, of where he wants to be, just because again that big
rounding
tree.
Out our lead card from
he'll probably just
Houston,
have a very
Texas.
similar shot going to the next end of the green.
Guthrie Timpanaro.
Let's go, Guthrie. Dark horse, making it onto the lead card.
Yeah, he had a great first round, 2 under, ended up being like 10-20 rated. Really nice round from him. Whenever we were asking about his bag, he said, I'm probably going to throw this boss a lot. So this is the boss.
In a southpaw, too.
Yep, just a little easy chip hyzer.
Flirting with the OB.
There we go.
Yeah.
Good job, gentlemen.
But that's,
I think
that was a good, solid shot from Guthrie just to
strong.
start off. Just don't be crazy. Just get in bounds and then get your birdie on your second shot. He's probably got around 380 from here, if I had to guess. And it's a little uphill, so.
And windy and a very possible OB.
Looks a little low. That's fine.
He made the
We'll
island.
get him down for par. Yeah, no worries.
He had that flag, give him a little launch forward.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he oversends it.
Yeah, and I think you kind of like that. That's a good example of the grade. Once it hits the ground, it's gonna push left further. So I think he probably lost around 15 feet or so.
I mean, that's probably a good thing. He would have probably gone OB.
Meaning he moved left of the basket more than he would have otherwise. Yeah.
Either way, it's a pretty good place to be considering.
Yeah, no worries. He's got a birdie look. This looks wide enough. Yeah,
Holy
that's
cow.
great commitment.
Beautiful.
A little tap in for his birdie on the first hole. Nice work.
Got Mason with it's probably second best caddy he's ever had. Looking at you, Jay.
Yeah, just a nice little bullet
Just
shot.
so smooth. He threw a bullet on that?
I believe so.
Yeah, a bit further out than I think he wanted.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm not sure how often Guthrie's played in front of the camera, but starting off with a tap in par is probably a good thing to calm the nerves.
Very true.
Ready, a little low. Checking that. I think there was a big headwind there, so it just didn't quite get high enough. So Mason is a putts with bullets. Is that right, Jay?
No,
Profits,
that's a
I
Mustang.
believe.
Sorry.
Oh, he's. I believe he putts with profits, soft profits.
Profits. Oh, you're saying the approach this was a Mustang.
Yeah, correct.
That makes sense. Easy, right in the
Easy
center.
peasy.
Yeah, Mason putts with soft profits. Really hard to find in the mid community. Well, hard to find for regular people.
Hard to find for him.
Mason
Well, I don't know how easy it is for him. Good job, Fredy, making par there. He's been using those same exact in conversation. He's the same exact profits he's been using for like 2 or 3 years.
Nice birdie from Zach. And Zach played the hole basically exactly how you want to. Just a simple hyzer and then another simple hyzer. I think the commitment on the second shot is the tough part of the hole. But now we're getting on to one of the tougher holes actually in the front nine. It's uphill for a while and then OB both left and right.
Yeah, pretty narrow.
Yeah, it's a fairly narrow, especially for the distance you're trying to throw off this tee box. So these little bushes right here are around 270 or so from the tee. And then that tree past it is around 450. So but again, it's uphill. So to get there, you're probably throwing close to a 500-foot shot. And then after that, then it's a fairly simple downhill approach. But really the challenge is the uphill with the left and right OB that's so close. So you're trying to throw something hard while staying in bounds. But then the approach is fairly simple. You just got to control your speed. This ground in Seguin is really, really hard. So you'll see a lot of really big flare skips. But this one, let's see where it plays. It plays as the 6th hardest hole on the course. Almost an 800-foot par 4 makes sense. So we'll see how the guys attack it. What's Mason going here, Jay?
Looks like he's going with one of his Sublime out.
Sublime, yeah.
Yeah, Mason, not much, doesn't really like to throw too fast of discs based on my very limited knowledge of him. Fairway driver, man.
Makes you feel bad for sure,
Yeah. I think it makes everyone feel bad because, here comes the shot. Yeah, my alphas don't do that.
Yeah, wow.
And a little short of the trees.
That's
He's in that
around a
big bowl.
400-foot shot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, straight uphill. So
People
great work
throwing
with him.
13 speeds, looking at him like you're throwing a 9 speed or 8 speed right now, and then me, yeah, a unique player.
Looks like Zach's going with some kind of mid-range, so makes you feel even worse. 800-foot uphill par 4, and he takes a mid-range off the tee. Again, Zach is, from all accounts, one of the furthest throwers in the world, and this is just a proof of that. Yeah, just out of his hand, it just looks for sure it's out of bounds, but just so much power gets it to turn, and he's right up there with Mason.
Power and control, and listen for the pop out of their hands. I didn't add anything in post. This is 100% the real gunshot sound that comes out of their hands. Like a real whip. And he turns it a
Nice turn.
That's a good move.
Yeah, a little, like maybe 3 or so feet higher, and he's getting up there with Mason and Zach.
Ignorantly, I would assume you'd want to throw Flippy, and looks like Fredy made that happen.
Yeah, Guthrie going with another boss.
Bit wide.
Looks okay. As long as it didn't skip. And there's the demonstration. I mean, of course, it was a faster disc, so it's going to get some movement, but the ground is super skippy around here. So anything that comes on edge with speed is probably moving. This is around probably a 400 to 450 foot shot from here.
Downhill. Oh, almost false start there.
Disrespect to nature from Fredy.
Hanging it over the OB.
Yeah, it's really committed.
Counting on that skip. That's a huge skip. That gets him, looks like right at 2, maybe?
Yeah, he's probably at around 35 if I had to guess. Probably a similar putt on the first hole.
This is a moment where being a southpaw is not ideal.
Yeah, the problem with this is, like, Fredy had the opportunity to go.
No. No, the double whammy.
But, Fredy was going out of bounds early and skipping back in bounds. Guthrie's throwing over out of bounds, skipping towards out of bounds. So it's kind of like a scarier shot. We have to commit even more than Fredy did. Just hammering on like some sort of approach disc. Nice work. Yeah, he just went mid-range to get himself in the circle. It's just nuts.
It really is. These are different kind of human beings playing a very different sport than us.
Right, and I gotta correct myself again. That is a Mustang on that floor. So Mason doing the same thing, mid-range.
You're saying that Mason threw Mustang off the tee?
Yeah, off the tee.
And
oh, jeez Louise. So Guthrie will be throwing his 4th shot from here.
yeah,
Still got around 300 feet probably to get up and down for his par or for his bogey.
that's looking really good.
It looks really nice. Great
Man,
shot.
Look at that.
Great recovery. Yeah, to hit that early tree on the last shot, just to come back and just base one. That's got to feel nice.
Got you. The 2 pumps.
Mason.
2 pumps.
Yeah, trying to film Mason, you learn to pick up on people's tempos, which I'll warn ahead of time. Mason, extremely mechanical. 2 pumps, then he putts. Oh, rare miss
dirty.
from that range from him. Fredy, on the other hand, there are times during this coverage where the camera is whipping because I'm trying to keep up with him.
Yeah.
He's a fast player.
Yeah, Fredy moves quick. Starting off with 2 misses, that's going to be tough for Fredy starting off. Zach early miss as well.
Yeah, him and Mason want that one back.
For sure. Yeah, these putts these guys are, they're not the top of the world in terms of players, but they're certainly like some of the best players in the region, and so they're expecting to make all these edge of circle 1 putts.
That's why shout out to my dark horse for not having buckled knees around these guys.
So I did talk to his buddies during the round, and they were talking like how nervous he was. And the funny thing is, he also forgot his bag in Houston.
Oh man!
Didn't realize it until it was too late. Had to go to Walmart and get some.
Who, Guthrie did?
Yeah.
Shout out!
You've got to be kidding.
Hence the soccer uniform on the first day.
Wow,
it said dragons on it.
Dang. Well, if you thought
that is wild.
If you thought the last hole was narrow, or I certainly did. This one, this one's a little mean spirited.
Yeah, certainly. Like this is really just like kind of a left to right. I mean, you really any shot you want. You can go high zero out over the OB, or you can throw a forehand just up to the green. This OB right next to the basket is super tight, probably within 10 to 15 feet. So you'll see guys throw big hyzers like Mason just to land left and make a putt, or some guys throw forehand and try to park it. But it's the challenge of this hole is just getting close enough without going out of bounds. This looks okay. Maybe a little left of target. Yeah, but that's fine though. I think that's Mason's play is just not even try to go for the basket and just make a putt.
Yeah, especially in that wind. That's a smart play.
For sure.
Very true.
I think the front nine certainly plays harder than the back nine, and so just minimizing out of bounds strokes is probably going to be worthwhile in the long run, especially in a close race like this. Just if you're first on the tee, just stay in bounds and put pressure on the guys behind you.
God, the sound out of his hand.
Beautiful.
That's
So
nice.
smooth.
Yeah, 20-footer.
Yesterday.
I just want to give a shout out to the Turkey Ridge owner, Justin Davis.
He does some great work.
Such a beautiful property, and he keeps this
Fredy.
year round.
Yeah, 35-footer for Fredy. But yeah, for sure. I mean, the amount of work that is required to maintain this property is insane. The amount of mowing. I don't even know 50 acres probably of land this course is on, because there's, a lot of space.
Who is going to get the
Guthrie
distance?
Some kind of mid-range.
Oh, he is very good. Maybe could have gone a little closer, but
yeah.
he threaded the
Probably
needle of that OB.
No worries there. I think Guthrie's a Firefly putter. Let's like to see him make one of these. But again, the wind, you can see the trees in the background. It is quite windy right now. Ooh.
Yeah,
Just off right.
good
effort,
shape.
though.
Yeah, good effort, good shape to try to counter that wind, going right to left.
Not quite the right height. And Freddie's out of bounds there.
Oh my
That's
God.
that's tough. I mean, it was a pretty soft run, but that just displays how close the OB is. Nice putt from Zach. Aside from the missed putt in the last hole, he's had 3 birdie looks and made 2 of them. So he very easily could have gone 3 for 3. Nice start from Zach.
Yeah, in terms of skill, looking at Mason and Zach, they seem similar in terms of they are just buttery smooth and have just complete control. So I think it's really going to come down to the putting green.
Yeah, and Fredy also. Fredy has had actually 3 birdie looks, and he currently has 2 bogeys, which is kind of shocking. Fredy, I've seen Fredy play a bit, and when Freddie's putting is on, it is hard to beat him. He is a very solid thrower of the disc. And I think that oftentimes, if he's putting, he'll make anything from 50 feet, 60 feet, whatever. But let's take a quick look at the leaderboard update from now. Zach and Mason both tied at the top, 3 strokes better than the field, and Matthew Barajas on the second card with a nice start at 1 under. So as of right now, Zach and Mason separating themselves, but certainly plenty of time. And again, the front 9 is the harder of the 2, so we could definitely see some other players jump in. We'll see what happens. Let's go on to number 4. This hole is very tricky off the tee. A really tight gap. You see some players maybe go high. Most players going to go low. Really, anything through this gap right here is a victory. If you get past this, then you're in great shape.
Hit your gaps.
Likely getting a birdie, or at least having a chance at birdie. If you're short of that, there's probably no chance of getting a birdie. This is, for it being a shorter par 3 at only 630, it's certainly a challenging one. As the drone flies here, you'll start to see the basket on the left. So it's just kind of a slight dog leg to the left. Getting through that one gap to here, you're in great shape. You're not going to see a lot of drives that far, though.
Just getting through those trees. There are just so many trees. So that's going to be,
For sure.
It's going to be a demonstration of, can you hit your line and can you send it just far enough?
Yeah, and this is the 5th hardest hole in the course. And as I say it now, we're going to see Zach take this high route that I think probably 90% of players don't even look at this line. But this is a great way, if you have it, then just blast it up there and see where you land. And I think that's kind of what Zach's mentality is don't even worry about the gap. Just, there's always a gap in the sky. And we totally lost this one, and
because no
fell
one
straight into the
expected him to
trees.
throw when he threw. I'm like,
Yeah.
he's throwing it through the gap clearly, and so did catch cam. But no,
But again, in
Justin
terms
would
of
love
just a strategy,
We tried to break the
though,
course and it didn't work.
But the thing about it is that he missed his shot. He definitely did not throw the shot correctly, and he's still 300 feet down the fairway, and he can scramble from there. Best case scenario, he's in the middle of the fairway and has a chance at birdie. So if you have it, then take it for sure. Let's see Mason. It looks like Mason's going to take the more conventional route.
yeah, he's eyeing that line. A little
Little
higher than he
high.
wants. Oh, and the smallest branch.
Yeah, I mean I think that's a common result. It's just hard to get everything correct. The height, the angle. Looks like he had the angle right, just a little high.
Yeah, look, that ceiling is a lot lower than it seems.
Oh, nice kick.
Keep pushing.
A very favorable kick. He'll be.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not getting a birdie, but he's at least having a chance to save his par.
Come back a little bit.
I love the commitment from Fredy though. A little late release, but he was super committed.
Yeah, I think the
really
height was
driven.
good. Mm-hmm. Trying to eye his line here because there are just trees everywhere. So which small gap are you going to try to hit?
Yeah, and I think the footing probably is affecting him here too. He doesn't really have a whole lot to work with in terms of run up.
A lot of natural OB over here.
Yeah. Yeah, just a little pitch out. He'll be probably where he wanted to strive to land, or shorter that really. Still a chance to save par though. Gonna get to see Guthrie's first forehand. Looks
Great
good.
shape.
There we go.
Oh,
Yeah, I niced him.
We niced it.
Yeah, it's totally niced him. It was a good looking shot though. It was nice shape, good spin on it.
that's our bad.
Can you nice somebody that's peer
He got triple niced, all right? That's that just didn't
I'm
have
pretty
a
sure I
chance.
niced him during the round too. So I mean, I had to commit to it.
That is looking very good.
That is not the gap I thought he was
no.
going for. He probably had like
This
100 feet
hole.
or so.
You said this hole was which?
Yeah, the
difficulty?
fifth hardest hole in the course.
I wouldn't. I would have thought it was up higher than that.
This used to be the hole that we started on when Justin was designing the course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so imagine
That'd be
starting
a
off
mean
like
starting
this.
hole.
Yeah.
Just disheartening
Jeez.
the rest of your round.
Unclear. Okay, gets down a bit.
Look at
Again,
that.
so Zach's just playing a scrappy golf. Just advance
Yeah, if
and
you
then
can-
see what happens.
Shout out to the little spotlight you had there. That
Right?
is really cool.
That's making lemonade when you're like,
There you go.
my guys are not prepared. We went from a C tier to these guys.
No, this is great.
Going
I'm
Frio,
enjoying
I think,
this.
from here. Really
That
nice.
is, oh my God, great approach.
I mean,
And
where
that-
Fredy was there is a spot where you're never thinking you're getting the basket, and he just pumps one with his Frio.
I don't even know if he knows it at
par.
this point because you don't even know if you can see the basket. Oh, you can see it a little bit there behind the tree.
Yeah, I think from his perspective, he probably had an idea as to where it was, but I mean, that's a really nice shot. Probably like a 350-foot shot with nice angle control. Guthrie, not a great approach. Got his wrist turned over on that one, looked like. So he'll have like 60 feet or so for his par. Zach, I think this is a Toro.
He's got a little look. Probably want to put a little more sauce on that, a little more height.
I think both him and Guthrie gave the ground a little too much credit in terms of the skippiness. I think that Zach was thinking that was going to scoot some more than it did.
That'll do it for Mason.
Yep. Zach looks like 50 feet or so. I'm not very familiar with Zach's putting, but Jay, are you familiar? Is he like, is this kind of a range that he's deadly from often, or?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not too familiar with his game. Just that he throws
Yeah.
really far and very smooth.
I would assume that if he was making 50 footers all the time, then he might be winning world
That was
championships.
a good run.
Yeah, it was a really good run. But as far as he throws the disc, then but I mean, certainly the dude certainly is a great putter. He made a lot of good putts this
Absolutely.
round.
Yeah, and I don't want to just make it seem like he just throws a disc far. The guy has an amazing game.
Oh, certainly. Yeah, you can't be 10-25 rated and be a bad putter. So easy tap in for par from Mason.
Yeah. That's what you want. That's like I said, this is where the battle's really going to start separating is game of inches.
Yeah, I mean, you just every one of these 20 to 25 footers is going to add up over the round. Like you're not going to make every single one of them. You know, we've already seen a few misses, and you got to give yourself more tap-ins.
Oh, that one hurts.
Right on cue. I totally forgot about that. I didn't realize that he was going to miss that. So again, that as many 5-footers as you can have is going to make the next putt easier. Just like stay like composed and stay focused. You don't have to be focused on every single shot, right? And you know that little focus lapse from Zach, and he's going to drop a stroke because of it. And actually, yeah, he's dropping 2 strokes. That was a double. So he's gonna drop back to 3 under while Mason takes a par. So now on to what is a tricky uphill par 3, 355. Probably plays more like 370 or 380 or so. The player's gonna look to throw probably some sort of fairway driver, maybe a distance driver, depending on their distance. It's way more uphill than it seems. You know, it probably climbs around 20 to 30 feet from tee to green. And the trees themselves, they don't play a big impact. You know, you see the gap, it's right there in front of you. If you throw it here, you're going to get to the basket. But this is one for sure that guys are going to look to get a birdie putt on for sure. Plays as, let's see, this is hole 5. This is actually the 4th easiest hole on the course, which is shocking to me. I assume that's just because there's just not very many bogeys to be had. There's no OB. Like the rough on either side is fairly playable. It's just a matter of just getting down there and getting the putt.
Yeah, the uphill part is probably the biggest struggle because this is one of the few moments where the trees is they're not a massive factor, but if you saw around the pin, there were a few. You see these 3 here, and it's actually about 4 or 5 actually right off there that'll prevent if you don't hit the admittedly pretty big gaps.
And it's a completely uphill shot. I know it may not look like it, but man, it does add a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and then also, of course, that affects your disc choice too, right? Like Fredy going Frio here, so like
that
straight
looks
to understable.
Really good.
That does look good, and getting some nice skip. Maybe edge circle 1 as well. It's around the same distance he's had a few times already, so we can see if we capitalize that one. But yeah, the uphill is the challenge of this hole for sure. Just anytime you're throwing with elevation, it just changes the disc selection, changes your nose angle, and it really makes you think when you're letting go of the disc. So Guthrie going, I think, with another boss.
Did he flip it enough? It's finishing pretty strong.
Yeah, he's going to be off in the rough. We'll see. Good to see how thick that rough is.
He's actually a little closer than I would have thought. He might be able to come back from it.
And of course, Zach going with a mid-range just to rub it in.
That looks like a putter.
Is my man going to throw a putter 400 freaking feet?
Yeah, that looks like an AVR 3.
And parks it.
Yeah, oh my god.
Let's watch it back. Well, this is from the catch cams angle.
The height is great because to get that to fly that far, you gotta push the height, and everything's perfect. The angle's perfect, the height's perfect.
A little flirty with that tree, but I mean, what else are you gonna do?
I mean, yeah, once you get to that point, you're just like, it's fine. So great shot from Zach. He's gonna have 15 or 20 feet for his birdie.
This is manageable.
Yeah, not too bad. He's got a swing. A little high. Catches that tree. Little chance. 40 feet, maybe.
Is it better out?
We're going to see a little step putt here. Not looking like it.
Yeah, a little jumper. Good healthy bid. Fredy just can't get one to fall.
It's obliterating the chains. He's just, spit outs are mean. This would be big for Mason.
Nice work.
Left side,
A
too.
little left, yeah. Good chains.
The thing about Mason just has great pace to all his putts, right? Like he's never coming in too hard, and so those low left putts are often going to go in because the speed's correct. Yeah, great comeback from Guthrie to save his bogey. But he basically what I'm trying to say is that anywhere that Mason hits the change, it's probably going to fall because the pace is so nice. Like a little nose up, slow and spinny, and the basket's going to catch a lot. So. As opposed to my putt, I putt too hard, and that's why I often miss left.
Yeah, just drill it. Come on.
Zach, nice work. And so aside from that little blip on the fourth hole, he's had 4 chances at birdie and has capitalized on 3 of them. So a really nice start from him. Mason staying steady, 2 strokes ahead. You know, I think that's the difference. Is Mason just kind of holding his ground and staying in the fairway, staying in bounds. Zach maybe attacking more often, but getting punished for it in some cases. But on to hole 6. This is a left to right dogleg, a pretty severe, almost a horseshoe, not quite. But so the first shot right here, you're looking to throw around a 300 to 350 foot shot that moves left to right. The grade of the ground kind of moves right to left, so you'll see some shots that might be good actually push further left than they really should. And then here you're going to see the horseshoe start to appear as the drone continues to fly, still moving right.
Yeah,
you think
that
you're finally
is
there,
insane.
still moving right some more. And
there's the basket.
As you approach, there's plenty of trees to come in and plenty of elevation change. So definitely ground play is a big factor in this hole. You're going to see a lot of forehands off the tee. I think that plays better for the ground play. Some backhands, although if you get it turned over too much, you might see some rollers going to the woods. So I think forehand is the right play off the tee, which is Mason. Here's what Mason's going for as well. Not sure what Mason forehands. Is he forehand like the
that looks kind of fast, yeah.
Goats or Phoenix?
This looks good.
I missed the tree.
Just off that one tree that's forming the gap, just barely inside.
It's hard because you obviously want to go a little more left to help try to counteract the horseshoe angle, but the trees are obviously preventing that.
I didn't get a chance to look at this hole from the tee that closely, but is there not a play to just throw it straight at the basket? Like, is there a mandatory on this hole?
There's no mando.
If anyone's going to try what you're thinking, Darren, it would be Zachary. And he's not going for it, so I think no.
I feel like the straight line to the basket, it's got to be less than 400 feet probably. Maybe I'm just being silly, but I thought for sure that you guys were going to call over the headset like, oh, he's going for the green or something. Because it seems possible. Inside. Yeah, he's got through most of the way, but yeah, he's going to have a tricky second shot under those trees. See Fredy debating. I think he's looking back in regardless.
Oh,
really flipping disc.
Oh, that looks like the same tree that Mason hit.
Yeah. But again, I think that shot is just way touchier because as soon as it hits the ground, if it hits with any angle, you're just going to roll straight down into the woods. So I think it makes it much harder to control where you land with the backhand. Guthrie, this is your shot.
Yeah, right. This is like the lefty's dream.
Power lefty.
Oh, don't hit the same tree.
A little early.
Same grouping of trees.
Oh, Fredy thinking about going roller. And thinks the wiser. Looks like roller could get to the basket, I think. Fredy's power. Oh, and just pumps a forehand. That's a pretty good display of Fredy as to how quickly he plays. Was thinking roller, and 3 seconds later he's throwing a forehand.
I think it might be a good technique. If he's like me and I tend to overthink, just go with go with your instincts. And he, unfortunately, that time looks like the angle was a little off.
Maybe a little too
nice
quick.
athleticism from Guthrie. That's not an easy shot that he just pulled off. That little stretch out across the body, and he's in great shape. He's probably got 350 or so.
Yeah, I guess that's the move.
Save his par.
Get to as quickly as you can get to where you can start peeking at the basket.
Exactly.
Because it's a fight just to start getting in on that angle where it turns in.
Absolutely.
Mason making sure that he's good because where the basket placement is.
Very true. Yeah, and he's trying to lean, and he's like me, a little short king. He doesn't have the length to get much further out. And look at that.
Really nice touch. Yeah,
Rolled right
that's the
behind that
idea
tree.
there. Is that if you are throwing the backhand, then it's got to be like slow and spinny, so that way it's not like just rolling into the ground. And so yeah, nice angle good from Mason to stay on the high side. You should have at least some look at the basket from there, I think.
Zachary here trying to weigh his options out. Looks like he's going to go for the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, which disc is the question? Little lower than.
So yeah, that's the problem. Yeah, it didn't quite get high enough, I don't think, and kind of. I think the height was the big problem, but you saw how that kind of rolled away, just magnified off the drive if that happens that way. So Fredy going forehand again out of the woods, really pumped that one.
Yeah, it looks like a tree might have snagged it a little further out there.
Yeah, I think this is many of the par fours in this course are that way. Like if you're not off the tee well, you're just going to be scrambling hard to save par. Guthrie probably 45 or 50 feet left for his par, so nice work from him.
Looks like Mason's going with is that a bobcat? Trying to go.
Believe so.
Trying to go based on the stamp.
Yes.
Oof. God, this.
It's a late tree.
I'm still blown away. The sound of the disc leaving their hands.
Mason's got around the same spot as Guthrie.
So do you think, like, as a course designer, do you think they love hearing stuff like that, especially when these touring pros come into town? Like,
I'm sure.
Oh, certainly. Yeah. I mean, the thing about this course is definitely like it makes you think. Like every shot makes you think. You got to be approaching it with the right disc or the right angle, the right speed. Mason actually further than I thought. Looks more like 60 feet probably.
He might be running this.
bam.
Oh, what a putt.
Bam.
What a great putt.
In the victory lap, little jog to fish out your disc. That is insane. Let's watch that back.
Just barely gets under the branch.
Angle control.
Wow.
Yeah, really nice. And the good thing about that is, like, we're in the woods, so kind of sheltered from the wind a little bit, but also that putt was not going to be further than 4 feet away if it didn't go in.
Very
so
true.
A really nice soft run that just
He did
hit the chains and goes in.
He did the little floaty head math, and that's not a bad run either. Look at him. He's like, I gotta follow.
Nice
How do
run.
you follow that? Good putt by Fredy.
What did this
And-
hole rate on the
Yeah,
difficulty?
great question, Jay. It was the second hardest hole of the course.
Yeah.
There were zero birdies from the MPO field on the second round, so definitely a tough hole. Going back to the leaderboard, so we see Kyle Barnhouse with a nice round so far at -3, as well Kevin Harris and Charlie Moore also having some great rounds. But Mason and Zach again starting to separate themselves. Mason 2 strokes better than Zach, and then Zach 3 strokes better than the rest. So these two guys starting to pull away a little bit, but we do have some players on the chase card, maybe on the third card, that are having some good rounds that could apply some pressure. Again, the front 9 being the harder of the 2 9s. Hole 7. This is a really, really, really cool par 4. So big downhill shot. With this gap right here is the important one. If you get through this one, then you're probably in good shape. I think you're going to see a lot of these guys throw mid-ranges, maybe even putters, because they're looking to get probably this tree right in the distance that's lit up. That's about the spot they're trying to get to. Anything past that's great. Anything much past that is going to be out of bounds, because there is a creek that splits this fairway in two, and you're out of bounds. So anything around here is in great shape.
this
You'll have
one
a pretty simple
Yeah,
200-foot. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I'm fine. Yeah, this is about the area you want your landing zone because it goes, into this island right here.
Yeah, exactly. So it kind of splits the fairway in two. The first shot is just a little fairway island, then the green island here. But yeah, again, a mid-range putter, throw it around 250 feet, 300 feet with some control, and you'll have an easy shot at birdie.
I recognize that disc. My man's throwing his Ford Mustang. Can't sue. It's just his last name.
This is right in the middle in terms of difficulty. The eighth hardest or eighth easiest hole.
I'll try that again. 8th easiest. And he pures the gap. And look at him. That is a little shorter than what you want to be, ideally, for these guys. But that is...
Yeah, and maybe a little left. You think he would have liked to see some right movement just to have an easier gap to hit.
Yeah.
But he'll be fine. He's got most of the distance, and he can make something work from there.
I think past that big tree out in the distance is what they're obviously eyeing for.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That looks great. Does it have the sauce?
Ooh,
Yes.
just in front of that tree. He's going to be in great shape.
He's happy.
That's perfect.
That's exactly where you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, that's right where he landed is the biggest gap into that island. So he's going to love that shot.
Well, if it can come back. No, it got caught up on the tree right there at the bottom of the hill.
He might have like a skinny look at the green, but he's gonna have a decision for sure on a second shot.
Little inside.
Early, and a terrible kick.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, this gap is no joke. I mean, we're watching superhumans here playing this course, but
Sure.
that gap is tight.
544 par 4. Yeah. You would think they'd be a lot closer, but this course is tough. It really is. Quick little story time, because I like to do that on the pod. But I was talking to AJ when you guys were going to do the fly through, and he was like, "Yeah, we'll get out there about 7:30. It'll take us like 30 minutes."
Oh, how wrong
I
I
remember
was.
telling the owner Justin Davis about that. I was like, "Yeah, AJ said he's going to get done in 30 minutes," and we both kind of looked at each other. And just laughed.
Should have hyped me up. Like, yeah, knock it out, 30 minutes. I was winded scouting this course.
Absolutely.
Oh, and
I appreciate the effort though from Guthrie. Like he was definitely going for the green there and trying to save his par.
Absolutely.
if he were like a few feet lower, then I think he would have gotten within the circles.
Absolutely, he was on a good line for sure.
He put some sauce on it.
And from what I can tell, it looks like Fredy is going for the green here. He's got a really tight little gap.
Yeah, that big tree to his right is obviously screwing him up because he's...
And a reminder too, that
over.
split. If he hits something early, then he could be going out of bounds.
Oh, and he hits the gap.
No fear.
Oh,
That one tree, if he just gets past that, he's a
yeah, he's laughing it up.
Yeah, it's unlucky. Fredy just has not had a great start to the round. A few missed putts, a few miscues off the tee, but it's Freddie's a light spirited guy. I think he'll correct it. Guthrie.
Stay in bounds. Nope.
He was out of bounds.
Be mad, dude. That sucks. There's no softer
I
way
think
to
he
put
was
it.
like
This course
2 inches out of bounds.
This course will make you question. I mean, look, the man made it to the lead card, so that can't be understated. But yeah, this course just makes you question yourself.
Okay, so I think you're right, Jay. This is the same putter that he threw on that par 3 earlier, and I think it is some kind of AVR 3 type disc.
I mean, it's a straight laser beam.
Yeah, that's just so impressive that he's able to throw those discs such a long line.
Yeah. I mean, he's
crazy.
throwing the same shot from 400 and the same shot from 150. It's very impressive.
Oh,
That
come on, come back and swing it.
Did he go through that tiny gap on this tree? It really looked like he went.
Might have
There's
been the
no
wrong
way he's
gap.
going for that. But that's, again, like I was saying earlier, I think he was a little left of where he wanted to be because he had to throw that little skinny hyzer. And I think he got a little fortunate through the tight gap.
Good approach.
Fredy, nice work.
done.
Tapping his bogey. I think this is Guthrie's 6th shot, I think.
Nightmare, dude.
And it OB again.
And I think that was a mistake on our graphic. I think he's in bounds.
Okay.
I don't think I think that the OB is not that close to the basket. I think he'll be tapping in for his 7 there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Oh my god. The
he
amount of
gets me every
times
time.
I'm proud of myself, filming him now because I immediately went, I'm like, oh, he's throwing. He's whipping the camera and I'm going to correct.
good healthy run, but we'll have an easy par.
Yeah, he's clearly inbounds here, so that's gonna give him a pretty easy putt. There you go. Just him. I'm sure he's just happy to get. Yeah, he's just happy to be done with this hole.
I mean, and it all came down to the drive. Again, as a reminder, like as I said before, it's like there's so many holes in this course that if you just get off the tee well, then you're probably getting at worst a par, maybe a bogey in some cases. Like if he gets through the gap, then it's a totally different hole. Like he hit that early tree, nasty kick, has to pitch out, and that ends up with a 7. So it's literally just about getting off the tee. If you can get off the tee well, then you're going to be in good shape. And I think that maybe that was the difference in the first round. Like the first round he shot 2 under, 10-20 rated. So far, not doing the same. Maybe that was it. Like just the tee shots were working for him. A couple of pars and bogeys from the rest of the card. Now we're moving on to hole 8. This one is we're back out into the open first off. So, more of this link style golf. OB left and right. The basket surrounded by OB. Anything you see long grass, you're out of bounds. So this one is just simply pick your poison. You can throw a forehand straight at it, maybe a backhand out of the OB. Whatever works for you. Whatever you think you can throw a 380 with some amount of accuracy. The big thing is the slope left to right, so maybe something that comes in from right to left is more advantageous to work against the grain. And we'll see Zach going with some sort of fairway driver, it looks like.
And you see they're underneath this big hanging tree, so it's going to limit a little bit of their angle, but I mean, it's...
You can't just throw any spike hyzers.
Yeah, I'm sure that's their first instinct.
For sure. It's got to be some kind of flat shot and controlling the speed.
That is wide.
This looks okay. Oh, unlucky skip. And he gets all the way out of bounds. Wow.
That's, the high risk move, but I mean, that's...
Again, though, it's just this, like, South Texas hard pan, like, he really did not have that much speed when it hit the ground, so very surprising to get all the way out of bounds.
Yeah, I guess that's the hard part here that we're not really thinking about is the change in ground here. Is you're squishier inside when you've got the coverage, and then it just gets rock hard when you're out here in the open.
Sure. This looks good for Mason.
He's happy with that, I'm sure.
Yeah, and it's about like a 320 or so foot shot to clear if you're going out over the right side. So manageable distance for all these guys. But you have to commit for sure. I mean, if you're throwing that shot out to the right side, you've got to commit to your angle, throw something hard over stable, and just trust the disc to come back.
That's looking good.
This looks great from Fredy.
As long as just hammer in. That's good. That's what you want.
That's just crazy because that looks so similar to Zach's shot. And Zach must have just hit some sort of little pebble and just get rocket skip. But nice shot from Fredy. He'll have 20 feet or so for his birdie.
I guess left side is the better side here. A bit more open.
Ooh,
unless you turn it over.
Yeah, a little too committed. This might just go.
Yeah, you even hear Mason in the back.
Yeah, I thought that was going in. Surprisingly, this hole played as the 4th hardest hole on the course.
Really?
Nice birdie from Mason. That's 35 feet probably. Nice work from him. He's missed a few of those so far, but yeah, you saw. Let's watch it back. Easy,
that's
right
just
in the
textbook,
bottom.
Yeah.
Yep, nice work. But yeah, I think that the biggest thing is there was a lot of big numbers. 25% of the field shooting double bogey or worse.
Really?
Wow. I'm sure a lot of people are trying to just swing at OB, and when you do that and you don't make it back in, you got to go from right off the tee, basically.
Very true.
Yeah, we can't just brush off that par save
massively
from Zach.
Impressed putt. Wow.
Yeah, a huge putt from Zach to save his par. There you go, Fredy. I think that's his first birdie of the round. Nice work from him. Hopefully able to right the ship. He's had a rocky start so far, putting green, some miscues, but.
Oh, and a very generous. The basket gave it to him on that one.
Yeah, you take those when you can get them.
Yeah, I'm sure he's happy. I'm happy. Good for you. I'm rooting for the dark horse.
Hole 9. This is one of the toughest holes on the course. Actually, in fact, the hardest hole on the course.
Really?
Very, very tricky drive here. OB tight left and right. And again, we're going back out into the wind. So you're looking to throw something that's probably out right over this out of bounds. Maybe you'll see some forehands, but generally speaking, you're just anything you can land next to this little tree right in the fairway is great. It's probably around a 400-foot shot to get to here. And then after that, I think the real challenge is just how uphill the second shot is. You're going. That's kind of you probably have figured out the theme at this point. Is you got a lot of fairway islands and then island greens. So kind of do whatever you want to get to the first island and then attack the green the next shot. So to right here is probably 500 feet. I don't think you're going to see a lot of guys push this far. Just stay in bounds and then attack on the second shot. And this green is pretty large. For the distance you're throwing, they've made it appropriate. You've probably got around 60 feet between the basket and this short OB line, but then behind is probably within 10 or 15 feet. So you've got plenty of room to work with on your second shot. But again, this is the hardest hole in the course, so you're going to see a lot of probably conservative play, just get in bounds and just get pars.
Sends it really good.
Looks a little early.
Oh, no, don't go out.
No.
Yeah, he is out of bounds. Maybe a little too conservative. You still got to commit to the shot for sure. And actually, in fact, now that I'm mentioning it, this hole averaged as a 5.08, a whole stroke over par.
God, it sounds like a jet.
Sounds like I just sent an email.
That's a great throw from Fredy, though. It's right in front of that little tree you were mentioning.
Yeah, very unfortunate to be like right on that tree.
Yeah.
I mean, again, that's your aim point, but you know, you don't want to land on it.
You said the target, and the man hit the target. This would be, I mean, honing in on Zach's trademark distance, this would be a great hole to really start putting some distance.
I think that the big difference between like guys like Zach with their distance is they can throw
right on the tree
same
too.
Shot with a slower speed disc, and so therefore have more control. So whereas like some guys, I mean, Mason is obviously in a different category as well than Zach, because Zach is just in that league. Like, whereas maybe Mason's always throwing fairway drivers regardless, so he's not a good example. But, you know, guys like Guthrie, for example, maybe they're throwing a boss, then
that looks good.
Zach is throwing some kind of 9-speed, right? And so it gives him a little more
overthrows
control.
The tree.
Yeah, really nice shot from Guthrie. I apologize. I didn't realize your game. My bad, Guthrie.
There's my dark horse. And the wind kicking up here. Probably one of the worst places you want the wind to kick up on, considering you got to go up and on an island.
I mean, it is a big green, but it's scary. I mean, especially in the wide open with that wind, it's intense.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and especially because the last however many holes, they've kind of been sheltered a little bit, and now we're back into it. So having to pull out some discs they haven't thrown in a little bit, maybe.
Ooh, that looks
another early
inside.
Release.
Don't skip out again.
Just stay in bounds. Oh my gosh. We're good.
Yeah, it gets in. So, you know, not a shot that he necessarily loved, but the green being big enough to kind of saved him there. So
that looks
good
pretty
from Fredy.
good. Little shorter than he wants. It's just so it's just so hard.
It's hard to commit.
The uphill is a big part. The second shot.
Zachary, we're getting chopped up by this tree here.
Yeah.
See what you did, Darren? That's the tree should not be your target. You know what should be the target?
The one tree.
The green.
Literally one tree in the entire fairway, and 2 or 4 players are underneath it. So incredible.
Looks like it's going to force the forehand out of him.
Yeah. I think that's probably the right decision. I mean, I don't really know if there is a decision. You can see the thorns sticking out of this branch.
Apologize
right
to Zach.
hand.
We're sorry, Zachary.
Welcome to South Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we lack in water is just spikes and
Pokey
knives.
trees.
Yeah. And that's about the same as all of our other players here.
Yeah.
Happy to make
Not
the
able
green.
to kind of get the power that he probably wanted on that one.
Yeah, and the dirt says it's just the wind's blasting you in the face.
Guthrie going boss again, the same boss we throw off the tee, looks like.
Not sure if that's wide enough.
Drop.
Yeah, didn't get it out.
Don't go OB. I'm not.
That's
I'm sorry
rough.
to laugh at your misfortune. It's just.
Turkey Ridge will do that to you.
Yeah, I'm in like camaraderie spirits there, man, because that's a heartbreaker.
It's rough. Yeah, I mean, especially because of how good the drive was. You know, he put himself in a great spot to give him a chance at birdie, and that one doesn't seem like that. That one just an unforced error on Guthrie's part. Yeah. You know, like one that if he just put it up wide enough, then he's gonna have a birdie look. Instead, now he's gonna be scrambling for
and
par.
He hits the pin. Yeah, and
Zach
plus,
easy tap in.
I've always had the mental note of just bleeping. Censoring is just inherently more comedic than actually hearing the curse words. But we're trying to keep this, safe for our sponsors. So you're welcome. Big high run going. Oh.
Hello.
Didn't quite push to the wind, it looked like.
Yeah, okay.
Easy drop in for Guthrie. Fredy getting his par, which, again, this plate is a par 5, so any fours is actually gaining strokes in the field.
Yeah, you hear the cliche of, head, mental strength and head strength and all that stuff. I mean, on the course like this, that is a very real thing where you could just be beaten by the third or fourth hole.
Yeah, there's just so many, like every hole requires your focus. You have to stay focused throughout the entire course, and that just gets really draining. So.
And they're about to approach a par 5 to lead off the back nine.
Yeah, and so that's the front 9. So Kyle Barnhouse, really fire around, -5 to the front. Really nice shooting, putting himself into the picture. So we got Mason and Zach at -6, -5, and then Kyle and Fredy right behind. So still plenty of action left. We'll come back on the back 9. As AJ said, there's a really nice par 5 coming up soon. We'll see how it goes. So definitely come back and check it out. AJ, Jay, what do you got?
Yeah, Jay, you want to plug anything? Tell the listeners and stuff what they should be doing before they check out the back 9 that should be dropping simultaneously.
They should be liking and subscribing to y'all's channel because
that's the move.
God, what a video, man! You guys really outdone yourselves.
Well, thank you. That's high praise.
Catch us in the back 9. Thanks, Jay, for being here, and we'll see you there.
Yes, sir.